Ready. Play.
Oh, we have Jannik Sinner against Daniel Medvedev. Their head-to-head looks very different today compared to what it looked like a year ago, when I think a year ago it would have been 6-0.
Yes.
I can have a quick look at that right now, but it would have been...
It was
until Beijing. So even much less than a year ago, like October or September, is when Jannik Sinner... Look at that, 6 wins in a row for Daniel Medvedev. Have they played on grass? I don't think so. No, we've got Marseille indoor hard, I think. Marseille indoor hard. Yeah, right, of course. We've got... Yeah, oh, wow, they've not even played on clay either. So this is their first non-hard court match. I guess there is a fairly warm favorite in this one. Are you going the way of the warm favorite?
Yeah, I have to. I think Sinner's going to get his 6th in a row. And I think the way he's playing, the way he's kind of synced up on grass at the minute, I don't think I can't see anyone else doing it. So I can't see it. If Medvedev somehow plays out of his mind and tries something different like he did in the Australian Open final, maybe. But I think the likelihood is that he will still revert to type. And I think Sinner on grass is producing something special right now. I'm going with Jannik Sinner. Yeah,
me too. I'll probably go in 4 sets. Yeah, me too. I just think that 6-0, by the way, seems very, very daunting and very impressive, and it absolutely is. And then winning the next 6 is equally so, or the next 5, I should say. I'm actually here predicting a 6-1. And again, I've seen Medvedev a couple of times look shaky in this tournament. I think he's decent on the grass, but for me, a Medvedev Grand Slam win, if it is going to happen again, and actually I have my doubts on that, it will come on the hard courts rather than the clay or the grass. And I think there's just 2 or 3 players that are significantly better than him on this surface, and he's always going to be running into them. And one of those players, and especially in terms of the form, is Jannik Sinner.
Ready. Play.
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you all right. What an introduction.
I've got something about Donna Beckett coming from somewhere. Where's that coming from?
No idea, because everything's
It's mine, it's me somewhere. I've got
it's definitely not me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've got a window open somewhere. That's about Raheem Sterling.
What sport are we covering today?
I know where it's come from. I've got it. I had it somewhere. I just had to close I had to mute a window. I need to plug my microphone in, so give me 20 seconds.
That's fine. Welcome everyone to Talking Tennis. This is the most professional tennis stream out there, where we do all of our preparation for the show live on air after we roll titles. So yeah, I'm coming in having just obviously witnessed the end of the 5-setter between Jannik Sinner and Daniel Medvedev. A surprise result for a lot of people, apart from maybe Daniel Medvedev fans. And I've got 2 screens currently going. I've got Carlos Alcaraz and Tommy Paul on one screen, where Tommy Paul's trying to break back in the third against Carlos Alcaraz. But I have the match that I'm supposed to be watching, and I'm probably slightly more interested in, depending on whether Alcaraz Paul goes 5. And that's between Jasmine Paolini and Emma Navarro in a match between two very informed players on the grass, it has to be said. Paolini, Eastbourne semi-finalist, Navarro, Bad Homburg semi-finalist, and both looking very good, very confident. Navarro taking down Coco Gauff famously, and Jasmine Paolini is having a very, very good season back in the top 10. So, yeah, John and I had very different ideas about where this was going to go when we recorded our last ball drops last night.
Yeah, I mean, we had 6 of the 8 quarterfinals in the singles draw on the men's and women's side that we agreed on. We've already got one of those wrong, but at least we're going down together in that ship, the Yannick Sinner ship. The one of the 2 that we disagreed has already happened, and Nick has an unassailable lead, at least in terms of unbeaten. I'm not going to be able to beat you, Emma, because I went for Lulu Sun against Donovekic, and when Lulu Sun was serving at 4-5, that prediction was still looking pretty sound. But from 4-5 in the second set, it was one-way traffic, and I think Donna only lost one more game after that. And not only one more game, I mean, she was winning games to love on her serve. She was threatening to break constantly. I mean, there was a run of about, I think, 12 points in a row at the beginning of the third set when she raced into the 3-love lead, and that was that. Regarding this one, I am quietly confident in my Navarro prediction.
And is that based on the head-to-head?
Actually, no. It's based on more on what I've seen in the last 6 days. I mean, those 2 wins for Navarro in particular over 2 of the biggest names in women's tennis in the last 10 years, or even a bit less than that, in Coco Gauff and Naomi Osaka. I know both have had their issues on this surface, but nevertheless, to just beat them both in straight sets, and I watched both of those wins, and really from the moment both of those matches started, Emma Navarro was in charge. So yeah, it's more on that. The head-to-head is like, oh, and there's the head-to-head. It's like a little bonus, if you like.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the thing that I'm kind of going with is Jasmine Paolini having a very good few months, kind of overperforming on grass compared to how we expected. Obviously, Dubai champion, Roland Garros finalist, and if you look at sort of how she's been doing in her draw, which is which she beat Bianca Andreescu in what was a very competitive first set, and then put her away in the second, and then really kept Madison Keys down for a set. Maddie Keys came back, and I think Keys just had to go into full flow to beat Paolini. Obviously, she didn't, because then the hamstring problem flared up. But where we ended up with was, like, Navarro doesn't hit as big as Keys. I think we're going to have a lot of dynamic riders in this match, but I just have a feeling that maybe Paolini can open up the court and use her weapons against Navarro. So that's why I'm going with Paolini.
Yep, fair enough. Let battle commence. It's 15-all on the Paolini serve right now. And how is Senor Alcaraz doing? He's under a bit of pressure on his serve at 3-2 in the third set, albeit 3-2 with a break. Yeah, fair enough. But anyway, just one other thing on a match that's obviously just taken place. I don't know how much you were able to cover the 5 sets. Probably not too much. I don't know how aware you are of the narratives that took place during that.
I was aware of Sinner being ill. I was aware of a lot of very grueling rallies. And at the end of the day, Medvedev was probably just a little bit too solid from what I saw, particularly towards the end.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good analysis in 60 seconds. Probably what I would add to that is perhaps there's a reason for that solidity from one side of the net and not the other, and that may be because of the physical issues that Yannick was suffering from in the 5th set. I say that I think those physical issues actually may well have been very different to the ones that he was suffering from at the beginning of the match. Lovely volley there from Jasmine Paolini. One love. I'm divided on this match, by the way, because friend of the show, Paolini, and who can't like her anyway, irrespective of whether she's a friend of the show or not. But then I've gone for my prediction of Navarro. Go on, you were going to say something, were you, about Sinner and Medvedev?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure he was. I know Sinner was ill, but he did look like he was struggling physically in the first set as well. I was able to catch the beginning of the match as well. He was like This
got
kind
away
of
with it a bit in the tiebreak. Got away with a bit in the first set tiebreak. Daniel let him off the hook, let's say.
Yeah, Medvedev should have done that one in straights, let's be honest.
The first set tiebreak, there were 2 double faults. He was up a mini break, Medvedev, on at least one occasion. And there were 2 fairly easy putaways that he would probably put away 8 or 9 times out of 10, but he went long on both. There was an extremely high level, though, I would say, from both players. Those 4 points aside, probably from the middle part of the first set until the beginning of the second. I know it's not a lengthy period of time, but where you had one of those golden moments where both players are just playing at their absolute peak. I have my doorbell ringing, so I'll be back in a second. I have no idea who that is, so who knows?
All right. Well, John's pizza has arrived earlier than expected. So we'll have to put up with it. So yeah, we've got 1 game to love, Jasmine Paolini. I may need to try and fix my stream at some point when John gets back, so we might have to do a bit of a swap. But yeah, it's Paolini holds to 15 early on. Got Giuseppe in the chat, who seems to be very who's obviously supporting Paolini today. Which is fantastic. But yeah, we've got Navarro kind of getting us underway on her serve, and I feel like I'm a little bit behind. I do have Alcaraz pull on the background just in case anything dramatic happens there. But I mean, at the minute, Alcaraz is kind of battling his way through that one for potential rematch with Daniel Medvedev in the men's semi-finals. A repeat of last year's, of course. Emma Navarro is off to a good start as well. I think this could be a very, very close match. In fact, actually, guys, you know what? I'm going to see if I can fix my stream now because I am a point behind Google. And when you're a point behind Google, that means something is very wrong. So clearly, clearly I need to fix it. So, John, I'm ready to fix it because you are.
Yeah. You do your thing.
So, I'll pop off the screen.
Yes, pop off if you want. Yeah, sure. Okay, 1 game all I have on my TV, which will probably be even further ahead than Google. So when Nick returns, I shall keep cool on that one. Let's have a quick look to see how Alcaraz is getting on. He's consolidated. In fact, he's got a double break advantage now. 5-2 for a 2-1 lead. And remember, the winner of that contest will play Daniel Medvedev in the Wimbledon semi-final. Will it be a repeat of last year's Wimbledon semi-final, Alcaraz against Medvedev? Or will it be a Tommy Paul Daniel Medvedev match? I do remember those two playing a pretty big match earlier this year, I think in Indian Wells. I think it was the semi-final. And Tommy was doing pretty well in that particular encounter until he got injured. Anyway, right now, of course, it's looking slightly more likely to be an Alcaraz match. Navarro here threatening on the Paolini serve. 1 game all. Thank you, Giuseppe, for the like. Giuseppe, can you also click subscribe? And if you click subscribe, you will be the 9,000th subscriber. We're on 8,999 subscribers right now. Might be able to share that figure with you on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. You don't feel like going in, but I have to, says Jake. Don't feel like going in where? Into the rally here. 30 all. Good winner there from Jasmine Paolini. Let's see if I can share with you on the screen one of these things that show you how many subscribers we have. So 30 all over here, and Alcaraz is serving for the 3rd set. Oh, I see, going to work, I guess. Is that a night shift? I think you said you were going to have a bunch of night shifts, Jake. Thank you, Giuseppe. If you have hit subscribe, wonderful to have you on board. I'm guessing you are given your name and your flag I saw you post earlier, and the name Jasmine. Pretty sure I know who you're supporting today. Well, we do have a break point here, though, for Emma Navarro. Backhand side. It's a really good return from Emma. Forehand Emma, but she's gone wide there. Has she? No, she's landed that in. And we've got the first break of serve for the American. She leads 2-1 with the break. Well. Jasmine was in a bit of
Hello,
trouble
I'm
there.
back. I am watching the 30 all point. So this is about the best I can do, I think.
Yeah, don't worry. I will keep stum for the remaining 15 minutes that I'm here. On the Google score, we have 30-40. You can probably guess how this one's already going anyway, given what I've
Yeah,
just
well,
said.
you just told me that Navarro's broken, so I'll watch and see how the point plays out. But yeah, I think if you want to.
Yeah, I will keep Sturm anyway. In terms of, but you know how that one's panned out anyway. We've got just broken now on the Google score.
Yeah, great shot from Navarro to break though. Like lovely forehand right on the line, cross court. Yeah, timed that beautifully, and that is one thing about Navarro. Like she's her timing on her strokes when it's on is just incredible to watch. It's very sort of it's kind of tennis as it should be, as it were. Like there's not necessarily anything super fancy about it. There's anything super distinct like Iga's crazy forehands, Rybakina's super flat serve, but just watching Emma Navarro play, that she just does tennis properly, and it's actually quite nice to watch for those of us who are fans of the sport.
Indeed. And she's up a break. Yeah, I agree. I think it's a really beautiful game that she has. A bit like Lulu Sun in a way, but of course she didn't have quite the same level of success that Emma Navarro will be hoping for today.
Sun is like a very flat hitter. It's very different. Like I'd say Sun's strokes are big, but not as reliable. Like they're bigger and less reliable than
Sun strokes.
Yes. Oh God, I've got so many. If she sticks around at the top of the game, which I imagine she will, she'll be doing all kinds of puns.
Yeah, indeed. I've already seen a few from various people who are well known in the Tibeti community.
I actually had a line in my head just in case, like she ended up winning Wimbledon or something. But hey, I have to say that for next year, maybe.
Giuseppe, thank you very much for becoming our 9. If you are indeed the 9,000, yeah, we can do that. You'll get some. I think we'll get some. Yeah, there we go. Look.
There we go. What a moment, everyone! 9,000. We've been waiting for this for a while
I know,
now.
it's been pretty slow. Yeah, it's been pretty slow going. It's been a bit of a slog. But we are now at 9,000. Of course, next stop 10,000. I do think that 9 of all the 1,000 landmarks between 0 and 10 is probably the least significant. I mean, obviously 1 is huge, but then so is 2, 3, maybe
Giuseppe,
4 is
don't
not.
listen to him. We love you.
Yeah, no, Giuseppe, thank you very much. If indeed, I think it was because I said, Giuseppe, can you hit subscribe? And it did click over shortly afterwards. So I'm pretty sure it was Giuseppe who's our 9,000th subscriber. And he's obviously hoping for a Jasmine Paolini win. I'm showing the scoreboard from Alcaraz, who's up 2-1 at the moment.
I was going to say, Paolini's just moved to love 30 on my screen. So she's forced an error from Navarro at the net and putting pressure on to get an immediate break back.
Indeed.
Oh dear, we've lost John Silk. Well, I guess I'll take you through what's going on here. Again, Paolini's really hitting deep, putting Navarro under pressure, and finished off with the overhead. There we go. Jasmine Paolini has love 40 for to break back for 2 games all, which is maybe not what we were expecting, to be honest. So, or maybe not John was expecting. I thought it was possible. This match is nowhere near over, despite there being an early break. We've got the first break point coming up as we've got a first serve from Navarro is long. So it's a second serve to try and defend the first of these 3 break points that she's facing. Navarro goes out wide to Paolini's backhand. He goes up the line. What a return. Placed perfectly from Paolini. He then comes into that to finish, puts it into the open space. She breaks straight back. It's 2 games all. Do not write off Jasmine Paolini, everyone. This is going to be a battle on centre court. And hopefully everyone at home who is watching is enjoying this. Let us know. Are you watching the match with us commentary? Or are we going to have to paint a picture of the match for you? Do let us know what the situation is with you. Are you watching? I think I know Jake's having to listen whilst he's working or on the commute. So I'll try and bring this to life for you as much as possible. I'm not necessarily saying I'll be as good as David Law, but we'll give it a go. I think it looks like my co-host is temporarily back, although I do know he has to disappear in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I was just going, Nick's frozen, Nick's internet's gone. But probably everything that I was saying was not heard by anyone because, in fact, it was me who was both frozen and internetless.
Yes, fortunately, I've got everything up, so we should be all good. But yes, Paolini breaks back in style, really. And then, yeah, she's kind of showing all her Paolini magic, right? Wonderful touches. She's coming into the net a lot and executing a fantastic grass court game right now.
Yeah, Nick. I get some vibes from you that you're okay with this, especially given the predictions that we made yesterday.
I'm okay either way, to be honest, because, like, you know, I
Me
was looking
too.
at
Me
like, you know,
too.
if,
I have a soft spot for both players, but sorry, go on, Nick.
I think it'd be like Navarro is probably someone I overlooked a little bit, and then I think we all probably overlooked, apart from Gil Gross. Gil Gross said that he thought he could see her reaching the final. I think I saw him talking to Vanch.
I saw that, but that was after the Osaka win. That's the only thing I will say. If that's when you mean when he was on talking.
That's the episode I was talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, that's still good. But that also made me think, yeah, she could make the final.
But yeah, I probably should have it wasn't. I think there were stronger players in her section on paper anyway, but she took one of them out, which was Goff. So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't think at this stage either player being in the Wimbledon final is that crazy, especially given the results they had on grass, which I was reading out earlier. So yeah, no big surprise. We've got Paolini serving at 40 love. Backhand return cross court from Navarro, who then gets into a rally here. Forehand up the line from Paolini, putting Navarro under pressure on the backhand, but Navarro's doing very well now, peppering the Paolini backhand. They're still trading from side to side. Huge amount of movement going on here. Paolini forces the error from Navarro, drags it wide. No, maybe not actually. No, I think that ball from Paolini did look long actually, but wasn't super clear. So yeah, Paolini did go long on the baseline. So Navarro able to put a little bit of pressure on at that point.
Where did the David Law comment come from? Because I just joined at that point. Something about I might not be as good as David Law, but I'll give it my best. Is it just your general commentary?
Like doing play-by-play commentary.
Okay, play-by-play. Yeah.
Best radio commentator I could think of.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Abigail Johnson's probably another option, probably better shout.
Yeah. Today it's a sort of a more modern version, but yeah, I don't listen to a lot of radio commentary anymore. Years ago, I remember listening to it quite a bit during the first week of Wimbledon when I was a taxi driver. Did you know I used to be a taxi driver, Nick?
No, I did not know that, but I can understand. I can see you doing that.
You can see it, yeah. I was a young. Nowadays, taxi drivers and Uber drivers, of course, are all sorts of different ages. But back then, it was very much an old man's profession. But I was a younger taxi driver, let's say, and I certainly remember having to do a trip to London and back, which is about a 3.5 hour journey from my hometown. As a taxi driver, believe it or not, it was anyway. And I do remember listening to Wimbledon pretty much that whole day. And I remember that Michael Stick was working for 5 Live at the time. I don't remember who. Maybe Claire Balding might have been on 5 Live as well. Maybe Victoria Derbyshire, if these names ring a bell to you, or certainly Victoria Derbyshire.
I've been a 5 Live listener for about 10 years.
Derbyshire used to do sport a lot, like football as well. I've actually met Victoria Derbyshire in Japan during the Football World Cup of 2002, but I know she does politics now.
Yeah, I mean, like, you have to do a bit of everything if you're coming out through the 5 Live route, which is what she did. And quite often her show would overlap because she did used to do the weekday morning show.
Okay, yeah. But I think 20 years ago, I think she might have sport only, but I could be wrong. But anyway, she was certainly doing a lot of sport back in the day.
Yeah, but sport back in the day, and a lot of the commentators are still going, and they're a lot of my inspiration for doing stuff like this. Paolini has held, by the way, in the end, held to 30. Navarro did try to put some pressure on in that last point. Paolini opened things up. We've got still very finely balanced match on centre court.
And fairly finely balanced on court number 1. That balance might be less fine in a minute or so if Tommy Paul loses his serve from deuce.
Yeah, well, I'm still a few points behind on that one, so I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Have you got both matches on your screen?
I do, yes.
Oh, look at you. I've just got the one. I could put Tommy Paul Alcaraz on as well, but Yeah.
I mean, I'm not paying too close attention to the Taipei match, to be honest. It is all about the centre court match because obviously that's what we're all here for. But I know that probably some of us would want to know what's happening in the Alcaraz match.
You probably saw me tag you on Twitter like I think 4 times late last night. Or that you probably didn't see them
There
all.
was a
As
lot of
they happened.
notifications when I woke up in the morning.
Sorry, yeah. I could have done more by the way. I did all 8. I chopped up all 8 into little 2 to 3 minute videos. They also work quite nicely because on YouTube you can put a preview. So what does that mean? It means when I click on Jasmine Paolini against Emma Navarro, when I click on it, even if it's 2 hours before the match, there's like a little 2 or 3 minute trailer, if you like, and that 2 to 3 minute. That's why all of them were pretty much dead on 3 minutes. There was one I think about 2.5, but they were all chopped up to be 3 minutes or less because beyond 3 minutes you can't use them for this thing called a trailer. So yeah, for example, there's 2 matches tomorrow we should be doing. I know I've already set up Svitolina against Rybakina, and if you clicked on that link right now to go, and obviously you can't watch the match until it starts, but it will begin with a 3 minute trailer of me and you saying, I think Rybakina is going to win because of X, Y, Z.
Guess we'll find out. I mean, like, I'm annoyed I can't watch that match. That's going to be on during prime work time, and I'm in the office, so I'm going to have to try and sort of time my lunch break very carefully with that one. I think that's the one I would watch over Ostapenko, Krejcikova, but it's a tough choice.
It was 50-50 for me, and I just thought because it won't be me doing the commentary. It'll be Matt, and I think I'm pretty optimistic. Isabel wrote to me sometime in the last 24 hours saying that she was up for a commentary on Wednesday, and she is in New York, I think, rather than California. So that makes a big difference.
Yes, she's staying there at the minute. By the way, it's 30-all on the Navarro serve. Paolini again putting pressure on. We've got a cross-court backhand from Navarro he then gets a cross-court right in her corner. Paolini's moving her around, and that moves benefit because the forehand attempt up the line from Paolini, Navarro's ended up in the net, and Paolini has break points, 30-40. Jasmine Paolini, change how she got the nickname.
Things are changing.
And like neither of them are playing particularly badly. It's just Paolini's able to move Navarro around and open up the court a bit, as I was thinking that was going to happen. But she's also managing to draw some errors by moving her from side to side, which is interesting because Navarro's a really good defender. But here we go. We've got a backhand from Paolini, really short, slice by Navarro. Backhand cross-court from Paolini's going to come into the net, going to finish off with the volley right in the corner. Navarro's going to have to scoop that one in, but Paolini's got the open court to put away that forehand volley. She's 4-2 up with a break. What a run from Paolini from a breakdown.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. So this match has been turned on its head.
Depending on, I mean, it was very hard to call, let's be honest. Like, okay, Paolini's the highest seed, Navarro has the head-to-head. So, yeah, there's no real upset here.
No, definitely not. But I just mean turned on its head in terms of the reversal of fortunes of where we were at. Navarro seeking her Grand Slam. Oh, I missed that one. One of those little stats that shoot across the bottom of the screen. Yeah, no, I mean, I may have Navarro to win, but yeah.
Paolini is on fire right now. She puts away a sort of a half volley mid-court and just slices it right almost onto the baseline. What on earth was that shot? But that was so good from her. And incredible touch right now.
Mm-hmm.
And at the minute, Jasmine Paolini in a better position than Yannick Sinner was, which doesn't happen very often.
Oh yeah.
Right. Sean's asking about whether Sinner was feeling unwell or was it an injury thing. I mean, looking at him when he was getting the treatment, it looked like he was just feeling unwell.
Yeah, there was a fifth set though thing with what appeared to be a hamstring as well. At least he was clutching at it at times.
Well, I didn't see him holding his hamstring. I was just watching the rallies.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Navarro, has she
They
dropped a
love.
set? She dropped.
Can't remember. She didn't against Osaka or Goff.
Right.
She did against Schneider. She lost the first set to Diana Schneider. Schneider was leading that match and then
That's a tough
started struggling
run.
physically.
It's a tough run, isn't it, when you throw in Schneider, because she had a good pre-Wimbledon run.
Yeah, well, I think Schneider won Bad Homburg. I can't remember who she beat with. It was Navarro or who was the other team? Navarro she beat in this. I don't know, but yeah.
She did beat Navarro. You're right. There was a sort of revenge, if you like, in that scenario. Yeah.
Yes. So, and like she was up in that match, just seemed to start struggling physically, and then it became a bit of a messy one. So, yeah, Schneider. If Schneider played Goff, maybe it'd be a different story. Oh, again, great forehand cross court from the mid court from Jasmine Paolini, who again forces the error from Navarro, forcing her to go up the line, trying to hit through into space, but couldn't get it over the high part of the net. And Paolini's now at 5-2 in 23 minutes.
Yeah. And from that early breakdown, I mean, Navarro is now staring down the barrel in terms of this first set. Let's have a quick look to see how Alcaraz is getting on. He's got 2 break points on the Tommy Paul serve. So it's 1-1, 15-40.
Yeah, and after what was an absolute epic of a first set, where it was literally like you couldn't separate them, it does feel like Alcaraz has figured out what he needs to do to win this match.
Yeah.
And he will have seen, obviously, the result of the Sinner match flashing up on his screen, and he's probably thinking his title defense just got a little bit easier, potentially.
Maybe. Medvedev was all over the Alcaraz Paul match as well. He said that at some point during his match, he looked over and he saw that the other 2 guys were still at like 4-4. There was one game in particular where Alcaraz seemed to be serving for quite a while. Anyway, and he was like, "What? How are they still playing the first set at 4-4?" And the interview, the encore interview, was like, "Wow, you're really. It's quite amusing how you keep it across it." And he says, "Yeah, the size of the screen, it's so big that I couldn't look anywhere else."
Yeah, he's got no other option, does he?
Have you seen the McEnroe thing with him, by the way? The little 30-second.
Oh, yeah, that's brilliant. That ad he's done with McEnroe is brilliant.
I just love the way he says, "I look ridiculous," or "It's ridiculous." It's just perfect. Daniel, the diction, the timing is just perfect, and the look. He'd make a great actor. I was going to say in a Bond movie, but I think he could be an Austin Powers, you know.
Austin Powers, I think, is more his vibe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. He could even be a bad guy in Austin Powers, you know, like just someone really silly but bad. By the way,
one of the ones who's like the henchman number 5 who gets killed, and then you have to like inform the widow.
Right, indeed. By the way, we are looking at some pressure here for Navarro.
Yeah, and Paolini has been putting under a lot of pressure pretty much since going a breakdown. I think she's now woken up, and Navarro's just dragged her backhand cross court wide for 15-13. So she doesn't want to go a double breakdown. That's just going to be quite the run of games from Paolini if she does.
I mean, it'll be the set. We've got some set points coming.
I mean, look at what happened there. Forehand, Navarro to the final. Paolini's got an amazing angle on that, and Navarro couldn't pick it up. So yeah, no surprise, 15-40. Looks like Alcaraz has broken, by the way, in the 4th for 2-1.
Ah, okay. So there we go.
I mean, the question is, which match is going to finish first, this one or that one?
You'd think still if Alcaraz gets it done in 4, you'd think that one, but
it depends on how long their rallies go on for. Second serve from Navarro, who then follows up. Oh, but she's forced into kind of crouching down for a shot right at her body, pulls it over the baseline, and Paolini gets the first set 6-2. We've only been streaming for about half an hour.
Indeed. It didn't last anywhere near as long as I expected, and certainly didn't go the way I anticipated, especially when Navarro had that first break. Let's share some stats out to the masses on Twitter before I say my goodbyes. And yeah, what should we give some amazing insight to this set? No, because I don't have time. Paolini wins first set over Navarro.
Yet again,
Hashtag
more insight into the behind the scenes of talking tennis.
I'm more than happy to do a bit more, but when it's when time is of the essence like it is right now, I'll just do that. Yeah, wow. Paolini, what was that? 5 or 6 games in a row she won?
5.
5 from 2-1 a breakdown, and Navarro couldn't consolidate.
And the crazy thing is, according to the stat, like Navarro only hit 3 unforced errors that set. Like everything else was a winner, or very much Jasmine Paolini forcing the agenda. Like Navarro doesn't usually give away much, but Paolini does have the ability, despite potentially some, despite maybe not having as much power as some, to be able to craft the points in her favor.
The stats are up there on the screen. I'll just have a quick word about this in a second. But there is actually a very funny tweet which had me very confused from Barbora Krajcikova that she posted an hour or two ago, basically saying rain delay, which is like, yeah, for many of us, but I'm thinking not for you, because you're playing tomorrow and you'll be playing indoors. But then, of course, she must be playing a doubles match today.
Yeah, she's playing a doubles match, and I think her doubles match is being moved onto one of the main courts afterwards.
No doubt. But look, so she did a Q&A. Rain delay, so let's do a Q&A, she said. Yes, it was nice for the questions. Back to business. Ready to play on. There was a response to one question that she had, which was about enjoying trains. So whatever that was about. Oh, you've seen some of these Q&A things, have you?
Oh, yeah, I've been scrolling on Twitter.
Okay.
I was checking Twitter because I was trying to work out, because like I've seen the Medvedev scores, trying to see what was happening, like what everyone was explaining, what was going on.
Okay, here we go. Rain delay Q&A. Let's have a look to see how many questions she got to. BNP Paribas got in the action. I'm sure she responded to them. She did, yeah. We missed you watching you compete this year. What do you enjoy most about playing in Tennis Paradise? The hospitality and the shopping. Tea with or without milk? No milk for me. Don't like milk at all. Are you a milk fan, especially when it comes to tea? I imagine you have a drop of milk in your tea.
Yes, I'll have milk in my tea if I'm drinking regular tea. Yeah.
But you're not a milk fan as in a broader sense.
No, I only drink milk in tea.
Got it.
Thrilling topic.
That's healthy. That's healthy because I like milk too much. Sorry, Nick, I missed a joke there. I think I was talking over you.
Thrilling topics, yes. That was more my comment, but yes, probably not great for the cholesterol, John.
No, I think you're right. I think it's not probably the most unhealthy thing I do, as you see me consuming a beer right now. But yeah, and I was going to go for a run today, and if Medi and some of these other matches didn't drag on so long, I probably would have done. But alas, here I am. I got ready to go for a run, but it never happened. You a runner, Nick?
I mean,
you go
for a run plenty of other days. I've had plenty of voice notes from you, which whilst you're running, I'm like, John, just reply to me when you finished your run.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, no, I am a runner. Damien went running one day when we were in Estoril together, and I went running another. Damien and I are off to Porto together in 3 weeks, I think, more or less, for a challenger. Yeah, 175. Estoril, have you heard the news about Estoril, by the way?
Yeah, Estoril back as a challenger next year, then returning as a 250 the year after.
Which, you know, if the mid to long term future of Estoril is safe as a 250 event, I think they're pretty happy with that. The general vibes I've got have been, and even now, I still think there might be a chance that they get upgraded from a 175 challenger, I think, which is pretty much as high as they go in terms of points. To they're still not ruling out a 250. So, but generally, that I think they seem to be quite happy.
Yeah, I think as a stopgap, it's fine. I think they've realized, the ATP have realized that it's an event that's worth keeping on the calendar. They just might have to rejig some other things around. Paolini holding to open this game, by the way. And now Navarro's trying to hold serve. Having lost her last 3 service games, she's had lost 6 games in a row. They're into a rally now, so keep at the middle of the court. Navarro trying to go for the inside out forehand multiple times, but that one was just looped over the baseline, and it's love 15. So we have, things are just not going the Americans' way at the moment. Things can change. Weirder things have happened in tennis.
All right. On that bombshell, I'll let you be, and I'll speak to you soon.
I'll speak to you soon, John. Have fun doing what you're doing.
Nick, when the stream ends, just click end stream as you often do.
I think I know where the button is. All right. Well, sorry you're stuck with just me then, but hopefully I can bring the match to life. But that means I can have a conversation with Sean now. Is Paolini a late bloomer? I don't follow the WTA as much as the ATP. So on that point, I would say I've been aware of Paolini for about 3 years now. Obviously, she's 28 at the minute. But yeah, the minute she's been a factor on the WTA stage. She's been in the top 100 for a few years now. But everything's just started clicking. But she's certainly someone for the last few years I've said, oh, she's one to watch whenever there's a match happening with her. I think she had a barnstorm with Azarenka at the US Open in 2021, although the US Open 2021 was what got me into WTA tennis, because there were just so many good matches right from the start. And then I got hooked on the Fernandez run and the Raducanu run. And Lena Fernandez kind of made that US Open in so many ways until the final when Raducanu got the result. As there is applause as Navarro finally holds serve for the first time in a while, and kind of stops the run of momentum against her. The question is how much is going to knock Paolini's confidence, as I've just seen a sliding forehand from Alcaraz to have another break point on court 1, and Tommy Paul's getting frustrated. Rio Hector, did Paolini play a grass season preview to Wimby? I assume you mean, did she play a grass warm-up event? Yep, she played Eastbourne, and she got to the semi-finals where she lost to Daria Kasatkina in 3 sets. Kasatkina, who then went on to win the title in Eastbourne, beating Leila Fernandez in the final, who'd beaten Madison Keys. It was actually quite a good event, Eastbourne. In some ways, shame it's being downgraded from a 500 to 250, but UK tennis politics, I suppose. Yeah, but there you go. So yeah, Paolini is an Eastbourne semi-finalist, and she's taking on Navarro, who's the Bad Homburg semi-finalist. Actually, both of them lost the eventual champion in those semi-finals. So they are both coming in with some very strong grass court form. Jasmine Paolini serving, goes up the tee. She's at 15-all, loops up the forehand. Navarro's got the inside-out forehand there. Backhand Paolini, slice from Navarro. Navarro's going to run around to hit the inside-out forehand. Backhand Navarro right on the line. He's having to slice it. Navarro's going to come in. Paolini's going to lift up the lob, which lands on the baseline. No, it's late call of out. Paolini's challenging it. And I don't know, maybe the intensity's died off a bit. Oh, something's gone wrong with the Hawkeye. I figured it out. Oh, yeah, no, the Paolini ball was long. It's 15:30. Hector, yeah, I do know what you mean. Like with the grass season, I do agree. Like having a grass preseason on the women's side anyway is key to getting further often. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't put Swiatek as my number 1 this time. Usually I'll take any excuse, but it just it was difficult to justify in that situation. I think only Serena Williams and Ash Barty have won Wimbledon without doing a grass court warm-up in recent years. We're at the 30-all as Navarro's frustrated about her putting a ball into the net. Getting ready to serve. Getting ready to serve here to try and maintain this momentum. Jasmine Paolini. It's the toughest service game she's had in a while. Navarro seems to have woken up. It was the second serve for Paolini. She tried to get the tee with that first serve. It didn't work. Second serve goes out wide. Forehand. Navarro. Oh, that's a cracking return right in the corner on the juice side, on the ad side, and yeah, that sets a break point for Navarro. 30-40. There's that timing I was talking about earlier. Absolutely beautiful when she gets it going. Jasmine Paolini. Long on the first serve. Second serve out wide. Backhand in play from Navarro is a very good return, but has gone back behind her. She tries to scoop that one up, but she was going to challenge that ball. It's over the baseline from Navarro. It's back to juice. That's a break point saved by Jasmine Paolini, who's keeping herself very much in this game. She does not want this to go 3. She wants this to be fairly straightforward, keep her fresh for the semi-final, which will be against Donna Vekic, who came through earlier against Lulu Sun in 3 sets. Dare I say it? I think whoever wins this match is going to be the favourite to win that semi-final. First serve into the net from Paolini. Her first serve has deserted her this game. There's a dip happening for the Italian, the number 7 seed, who goes, again, middle of the box. Huge return from Emma Navarro on the forehand, right cross court. And there we go to the break point for the American. Alcaraz has a double break against Tommy Paul, by the way. First serve from Paolini, clips the line. Great return from Navarro, up the line from Paolini. Navarro's going to come in. Navarro's going to go for the pass. Oh! Paolini just about clips it with her racket and just about got it over the net. That was a tight volley, though. That could have gone either way, but she just about managed to scoop it over and very, very short. I think she was helped with a let cord there as well. And it is back to juice. It's another break point saved by the Italian, by this year's Roland Garros finalist. Beat Elena Rybakina in the quarterfinal there. Looking set to move up in the rankings to number 5, if she can. Forehand up the line from Paolini. He's going to come in behind. That doesn't need to because it's a winner. Advantage to Paolini. This feels like a critical game in this set already. Paolini playing with quite a bit of confidence at the minute, but we'll have to see how the rest of this goes. First serve, Paolini into the net. Second serve to try and get this game really short. And Navarro attacks it with the forehand. Paolini keeps the rally going, though. And then Navarro overhits the forehand. It loops over the middle of the baseline. And it is Paolini who holds serve for 2-1. And she is up in this match still. Interesting, Hector. You think it's only Paolini who can upset Rybakina? You don't think Svitolina's a threat? I think that tomorrow's match with Svitolina could be very, very close. I'm still backing Rybakina to win it, but I would not be surprised if Svitolina pulled off the upset at all. The way she's playing right now. Keeping an eye on the Alcaraz match as Tommy Paul serving to stay in the match at 1-5 in the 4th. Let's move to 30 love on my screen. Still a change of ends here. We're still at a rest period, but yeah, at the minute, I'd say Rybakina is the favourite, heavy favourite, and maybe it's because I'm used to things being a twist in the tail that I'm not taking it for granted that she's winning it, but I also think that everyone else in the draw is actually playing pretty well. Players coming back up after the change of ends now. All right. There we go. Got a stat up here saying that apparently the last Italian woman to reach the semi-finals of Wimbledon in the women's was 1926. So it's been a very long time for Italy. Italian tennis is having a resurgence, real resurgence. I mean, they are the tennis nation right now. As Navarro's putting Paolini under pressure in this rally, Paolini's still finding a way of making every ball. Now she's got a short ball from Navarro. She's going to punish with the inside-out forehand into the corner. It's love 15. That Navarro was well up in that rally. She should have won it maybe, but Paolini found a way of keeping the ball in the court. Took advantage of the short ball from Navarro. Pressure on the American now as she serves, goes out wide. The backhand of Paolini. She runs out to the inside out forehand. Backhand back behind from Paolini. Scooped into play from Navarro. He hits that forehand long. You see what she was going for? She was really trying to drive up under it and put a lot of spin, but there wasn't enough spin to drag it into court. Too much velocity, 15-all. Paolini still trying to make the most of the situation here, though. Navarro serves at the middle of the court. Paolini in play. Backhand. Navarro short. Drop shot from Paolini. Navarro's going to try and get there, but she can't quite get underneath it to steer it into court. It's over the baseline. It's almost on the tram line as well, and it's 15-30. And Paolini doing so well to keep Navarro, give Navarro one extra ball and make it awkward. Navarro's got really clean strokes, but even she's struggling with the sort of the low bouncing and the different kind of paces that Paolini's giving her right now. Go backhand cross court to the slice of Navarro. Again, desperately trying to keep everything in court. Inside out forehand from Paolini. Draws the error from Navarro, and it's 15-40. 2 break points for the Italian to go a set and a break up. Really good result. Let's see what Navarro can come up with. First serve out wide. Oh, it's too good. That's the best serve that Navarro's hit for a while. The real out wide, and Navarro Paolini couldn't get a steer on it. Barely got a racket on it. 30-40. First break point saved. And can she save the next one? They keep herself on terms in this set. First serve, really short. Paolini attacks it. Backhand from Navarro is overhit. The +1 backhand is overhit cross court. And Paolini has broken for a 3-1 lead in the second. And she is motoring right now. Things can change, but right now, she's in a very, very strong position in this match. And I mean, looking at the time here, it's only been about 45 minutes. My comment, though, about whether this match will finish first for the Alcaraz match is looking set. The Alcaraz match may still just about beat it, as Alcaraz has just beaten Teupel with an inside-out forehand winner. I will let you know if Alcaraz can get this win. By the way, let me know what you think about this match. You know, are you enjoying it? Any questions for me about tennis? Love to talk to you guys as well. I've been having a great chat with Sean and Hector today. 15 love. Paolini at the minute. Again, fantastic forehand. And I have to say, the way Paolini is striking the ball right now is just fantastic. Got a little bit beneficial from the net court there. First serve from Paolini is good. Now she follows up with the inside out forehand. The backhand of Navarro just clips the net. Forehand cross court from Paolini is long. Overhit that one. It's wonderful forehand. She just gets under the ball, drives up underneath it, puts a lot of top spin on the forehand. But I think it's about the placement as well. Her ability to get it with depth, to get it to put it in awkward positions. It's just making it very tricky for Navarro to execute right now. First serve out wide from Paolini is an ace. 109 mile an hour out wide. And people are saying that Paolini doesn't have a lot of power. She probably isn't the biggest hitter on tour, but she's got a decent serve. She's got a lot of pep on her strokes. And yeah, she's got a fantastic ability to counter punch. I think she's got a fantastic ability, a bit like Kasatkine, to just vary the paces that she can produce off the racket. Second serve after that first serve was very, very wide. Forehand in play from Navarro. Backhand into the net from Paolini. 30-all. Another tricky service game coming up for the Italian. Got match point on court number 1. And Tori Paul has gone wide. Carlos Alcaraz is through in 4 sets. It looked fairly tricky to start. But then once he got going, he got through his opponent and he gets up in their head-to-head. Carlos Alcaraz will play Daniel Medvedev in the Wimbledon semi-final. I'm fixing that problem. Backhand for Navarro to the forehand of Paolini, scooped up really long, really deep there. Now they're trading backhands. Slice from Paolini to the backhand of Navarro. Again, no one's really putting a lot of angle on it. They're just trying to go for depth up the middle. Forehand from Paolini is long, 30-40. And Paolini is frustrated right now that she's not in a she's not capitalizing on this break advantage, and I have to agree. The errors have started to creep back into the game, and it's not helping her right now. $30-40. Again, it's not the first service game that Paolini's been in trouble this match. Backhand from Paolini to the backhand of Navarro. Backhand Paolini cross court. Backhand Navarro into the middle of the court. Forehand Paolini is short. Forehand again Paolini cross court. She's trying to edge into the Navarro forehand corner. Now she's changed direction with the backhand to the backhand of Navarro up the line. Forehand cross court from Paolini. She loves that shot and it works because it kicks up. It was kind of in Navarro's strike zone, but Navarro didn't quite catch it right. Pulls it out of court, and it's another breakpoint save by Jasmine Paolini, and we're back to deuce. It's weird to me this match hasn't been going on that long because we've had some decent, interesting rallies here. Both very dynamic players, a lot of movement going on. Paolini especially. First serve from Paolini is huge, but oh, it's a let. It is a let. So we abort, we start again. Just coming up to 7 o'clock here in the UK. On centre court. Might be some doubles to come afterwards, we will see. First serve from Paolini up the tee. Again, really good return from Navarro. And that forehand in the corner from Paolini is good. Navarro got a racket on it, but now Paolini finishes it with the net. As advantage Paolini. Yeah, I saw Nerland's question, John. I don't have an answer for it, honestly. And not because it's a stupid question. It's actually a very good question. But I think my answer would be super boring because it would be all the teenagers like Kvitova, or other players. Like I don't have the time to pay attention to all levels of the tour, unfortunately. I have a look at sort of the rankings to see who might be qualifying for Wimbledon or for the slams, and I get used to seeing the names, but I don't watch the matches because I just don't have the time. So I think if I was if I was in a privileged position of working in tennis, then I would be. But sadly, it's not the case. So I would love to give you 5 players. 5 players that I thought were up and comers, and even then, if I give you 5 players before Wimbledon, I'm not sure Lulu Sun would have been on it. So don't go for me. Don't. I'll get excited about the future, but I don't know what it looks like. By the way, Paolini's managed to hold for 4-1, and she's fist pumping there. Gets out of a really, really tricky game. And does well too as well. But yeah. So at the minute, pressure back on Navarro to try and stop this match from running away from her. Otherwise, it may not go well. Lovely to have everyone who's here on board, by the way. Any more questions, feel free to throw at them. I will try and answer as best I can. I'm not a tennis expert, but I will say what I see. Ashley, hello. Lovely to see you, as always. Always very happy to see you, Ashley. Right. Navarro she's had a couple of opportunities in this set to break Paolini, but she's not capitalized. They're into a rally right now, cross court the forehand. Paolini's going to hit really deep into the forehand corner and then lines up the forehand again into the forehand corner. She's loving the cross court forehand right now, comes into the net to finish with the backhand into space on the half volley. Brilliant, brilliant play from Jasmine Paolini to get to love 15. And that's a classic Paolini move. Push her opponent right into the corner with the forehand, get her out of court, and come into the net to put a volley into the open space and finish the point quickly. Using her speed to advantage. She gets a great play on the backhand return. They're trading backhand cross court at the minute. Navarro goes up the line this time. Paolini's got the forehand right into the center of the court. And she's going to slice the backhand cross court. So the Navarro backhand goes cross court, goes long. And it's interesting because Navarro's defense is usually very well regarded, but she's the one breaking down the situation. Paolini is getting everything back with such depth. Oh, J-Buck, I'm glad you're okay. Stay safe in that storm, mate. Yeah, I'll bring you, I'll try and describe as much of what's going on, but if you're a Navarro fan, it's not looking good right now. Love 30 in the first set's gone into the net from Navarro. But yes, please stay safe, J-Buck. And hopefully you get internet back soon. Backhand from Paolini to the backhand of Navarro. Backhand, Paolini going to change the court. Now Navarro's going for the sharp angle and then goes for the slice coming to the net behind. She's trying a Paolini tactic. She's got the overhead, but it was really awkward. She makes contact behind her head and it ends up being love 40 as the ball ends up in the net. And Paolini has 3 break points for a double break. And maybe can get this match done in an hour. Double break for Paolini on the line and maybe a double break for me as well in my predictions with John. First serve from Navarro is actually really good. No, it's to let. She's had to change up. No, it's actually a second serve because she didn't get a new ball. Second serve. Oh, it's a double fault. That is a double fault. Not a good time for that to come about. And it was a nasty double fault as well. 54 minutes on the clock. Both sets have taken exactly 27 minutes. Jasmine Paolini is coming out to serve for the match. And it's weird because Navarro has had opportunities. She's had opportunities to break Paolini. It's not like she's being crushed here. But in the rallies, Paolini's just showed herself to be the superior player. And I thought Paolini would win this. I didn't think it'd be anything like this emphatic. But let's see if she can close it out. Goes up the tee with the first serve and going to the middle of the court to put away the inside-out forehand winner. That is brilliant. Mid-court. Again, perfect. Great serve. And she's finding the corners. She's finding depth on these shots. Everything's just clicking for Jasmine Paolini right now. First serve from Paolini to the forehand of Navarro. Backhand from Paolini to the forehand of Navarro. Oh, great forehand from Navarro. Putting Paolini under pressure. Great question here from J-Buck. What is Paolini doing that Goff didn't? I think it's more about the fact that Navarro was just having a very good day. And I think Goff just wasn't getting enough depth in her shots and not putting the balls in awkward enough places. Whereas Paolini, that's what Paolini is doing. And Navarro was targeting the Goff forehand pretty heavily and just drawing errors. Whereas Paolini doesn't have an obvious weakness in the same way. And she can generate a pace. Maybe she's not hitting to the backhand enough. But even then, the Paolini backhand's fairly durable. It's actually held up in a lot of these rallies. 30-15. We're 2 points away for potentially from Paolini closing this out. She's got 4 minutes to do it within an hour. First serve out wide. The backhand of Navarro just might get it in play. Backhand from Paolini. But Navarro's somehow got a backhand on that one. Slice now from Navarro. Paolini's going to go again back to the Navarro backhand. Just trying to keep her to the backhand wing and draws the error. Again, right at the backhand. Navarro having to get really low, really close to the body. Wasn't going to work. 40-15. 2 match points for Jasmine Paolini. to book her place in a first Wimbledon semi-final, straight off that Roland Garros final. First serve from Paolini. Great return from Navarro. Deep forehand from Paolini in the centre of the court. Backhand cross-court from Paolini, trying to go for the angled winner. She drags it wide. It's 40-30. First match point missed. Damien is in the wings, ready to come on and talk about this match. And I'm interested to hear his thoughts on how it all turns out. I might just I'll bring him in regardless of how this game turns out. But yeah. Oh, first serve is long from Jasmine Paolini. Second serve. Just on the line. Huge return from Navarro. Oh no, the return from Navarro is just wide. Paolini's got a beaming smile on her face. And as Ashley says, friend of the show, Jasmine Paolini is into the Wimbledon semi-finals, where where she will play Donna Vekic. And Paolini's looking very, very good right now. Giuseppe is very, very happy. And I'm very happy because it means I get to talk to Damien.
Yeah, it means that we get to talk to one another. And once again, it's about Jasmine Paolini, the friend of the show. What an amazing late breakthrough as a whole. I mean, she's going to be in the top 5 after Wimbledon, regardless of what happens now. I mean, that's just insane. It's insane. It's impressive. And well, I mean, I feel like right now she would be smacking that forehand and just playing so confident on any possible playing surface. Obviously, famously, she had no main tour wins on grass prior to this year. I think that stat was a little skewed because 2 of these matches were against Kvitova at Wimbledon. So, you know, she had some really good losses in there with the sets that she took from her. But yeah, all in all, I think today, especially, Navarro started with this very good game. And I remember thinking that, okay, this is going to be a match. Navarro is probably the best grass courter overall. A friend of mine tweeted that, like, Navarro started so well. And then, boom, you know, she only won 1 game, I think, after going up to love. Yeah. And of course, just in general, the way that Jasmine is moving on grass courts as well, playing such inventive tennis, you know, the way that she's kind of playing all these situational slices, lobs, net approaches, you know, a side of her game that I guess we also hadn't really seen before. I mean, before last year, I think Jasmine Paolini was mostly regarded as like a bit of a grinder with some pretty good pop on the forehand. But here, I mean, she's showing, you know, a whole new layer as well. Even after Roland Garros, it's a new layer to her game. So yeah, it's just insane. I mean, Jasmine Paolini in the top 5. Imagine if someone told you that 2 years ago.
I mean, I was saying in the stream, Paolini's a player I was keeping an eye on anyway because she has a history of making for good matches against top players, but she wasn't necessarily putting it together the rest of the tour like in most other matches. And this year, everything's now clicked, and she's found a way of producing a strong level against everyone. And look at her go, I guess. And, you know, your stat about no grass court wins, I mean, that sounds very Von Drusova-esque. If we're
it was only like
0-4
or something like that, and she was winning some qualifying matches. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it's one that's been thrown around a lot since the beginning of this year's Wimbledon.
Yeah, but hey, look, Eastbourne semi-final, that got her some wins on grass, and then Wimbledon now semi-finals here. Yeah, actually, that's semi-finals in her last 3 tournaments that she's entered. That's minimum. That's pretty good.
No, it's pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. It's the kind of consistency that, along with winning that Dubai title, gets you there. And of course, she had a very weird win over Madison Keys in the 4th round. We kind of need to remember about that. But I think today she made it work. She like sort of showed that, okay, like I wasn't just let into that quarterfinal, you know, in order to just fall apart or something like that. Absolutely not. I mean, she played remarkably well. She totally dominated the opponent. I feel like all the matches in the bottom half at this stage are more of a nervous battle rather than actually like, you know, it's more important how you perform mentally than game-wise. And well, Jasmine did a very good job today in both departments, both in terms of her tennis quality and also just, yeah, playing like it's nothing for her, which actually compared to Emma Navarro, maybe it kind of was, you know, she already played the Roland Garros final. What does a Wimbledon quarter mean to her? Of course, a lot, but I guess she had, you know, that experience a month ago.
Yeah, I guess so. And she's learning from it, and she has to be the favourite to reach the final now against Vekic, right? Especially so you talk about the
A
nerves
slight
battle. I
favorite,
feel like
probably.
Paolini might handle it better.
A slight favorite, maybe, yeah. Donna, of course, first Grand Slam semi-final, first time she's that far, sure, might be a factor. If we were talking just like before the start of this grass season, and you told me Paolini, Vekic, I would say, I mean, Donna is easily the favorite, right? But it's all changed. It's all like shifted since Eastbourne, as he said. Yeah, it's probably Paolini who's a bit of a favorite there now. But I do kind of stand by this, that most of these matches, and I mean, by now we only have one more match in the bottom half, but that match will also to me be more decided by like how the players handle it mentally, how they show up on the day, rather than actually tennis, if you even we can say something like that. But yeah, it's a fantastic rise. She can also keep going. I mean, I think if Rybakina was going to lose tomorrow, then I think Paolini can even be in the top 4 after Wimbledon. Yeah, it's really fantastic. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of different reaction to it on Twitter as well. People sometimes are hating on that too, like how is Paolini in the top 5, in the top 10? But I mean, watch this match. She's just playing with such confidence at the moment. She's destroying these opponents.
Paolini is an underappreciated player. I mean, her serve is regularly around the 109, 110s. So it's pretty good. What she does is she's very good at, she doesn't necessarily hit outright winners that no one can reach, but she's so good at creating space on the court for her to hit into, whether her opponent has no hope to run towards it. Her net game is incredible as well. She's actually a very strong all-around player with a lot of variety. And yeah, I think that she's been underappreciated for a long time, probably because of the lack of results. But yeah, it's all coming together. And yeah, I think I'm currently at the point where like she could have been on my WTA power ranking, and I was very swung by that 0 grass win stat before Bad Homburg, and so I didn't, and I'm regretting it now.
Nah, I mean, I think it was very fair not to include her. I totally get that. I don't think many were going to, simply because she was expected to like probably bow out in like third, fourth round. Yeah, I don't think it was wrong at all. I mean, it's just something we discovered during the event, that Jasmine Paolini is also handling herself on the grass as well as on any other surface, really. And yeah, for years she was kind of underappreciated. Obviously, I didn't think that the underappreciation was to that extent. In my mind, she was like clearly the best. I remember someone asked me about this, for example, like who's got the highest upside out of Paolini, Cocciaretto, and Bronzetti. They kind of go in a free as sort of similar age Italians, at one point similar ranking. And I remember just thinking, well, I mean, it's clearly Paolini, but like, not to this extent. I would never picture this for her. But yeah, it's a truly remarkable story that I feel like we will be mentioning for years to come. That you don't necessarily have to be in the top 10 when you're 21 in order to get there. You don't necessarily have to be in your first Grand Slam final when you're 23. You can actually do it at 28 as well, and I don't know, just repeat it too. I don't know if she will actually repeat her Grand Slam final here, but I mean, making the semi pretty much the same thing.
I mean, let's face, we were kind of trending in the direction anyway with the sort of the rise of Pegula in the last couple of years, and so Zachary as well. Okay, they were mid-20s, but when they kind of hit that, but they were kind of in that category as well, sort of starting to see their best results in their late 20s. Paolini is in her later 20s, but it's not unheard of for something like that to happen on the women's tour. But yeah, Paolini definitely basically saying don't give up on your career, as is Dora Vekic as well, because Vekic has said a couple of times she's thought about retiring, but she's carried on going, and she's also in the semi-finals. And let's face it, when the section opened up, it was looking very good for her.
Yeah, Vekic was originally supposed to have Sabalenka in the second round. I know head-to-head over her, she's got a good one, but still, it was still a problem of course, she had to overcome that, but it's not like after that she immediately became the player that everyone was thinking of when it comes to making the semis, right? There was still Badosa, there was still Raducanu, there was still a fair few other, Kasatkina, but in that third quarter. But eventually she is the one, and yeah, it makes total sense. On grass, she's always been good. She's won a title years back, but still she's always been dangerous. And yeah, finally gets a Grand Slam quarterfinal she could win, and that's exactly what she did earlier today.
She did. Someone else who won a Grand Slam quarterfinal. Carlos Alcaraz won his match shortly before Paolini closed it out. Do you want to give us your thoughts on that result of him beating Tommy Paul in 4? I'm a little surprised it kind of swung so heavily his way after that very tightly contested first set, but I want to kind of get your read on it.
Yeah, Tommy even led 7-5 to love. I know some people will be kind of disappointed with how quickly Tommy went away there. There is some truth in that. I think from Alcaraz, again, this was kind of messy, just like maybe the third round against Tiafoe. To a lesser extent against Humbert, where Humbert was just playing insane tennis for the most part. But I don't think it was like a perfect performance. But by the fourth set, he was really like getting into his best stuff. He really gradually improved and found his best level. And I mean, especially given what happened earlier on center court, this is now on the racket of Carlos Alcaraz. Like, if we were talking earlier in the event that people saying that Coco Gauff's tournament to lose or like Elena Rybakina's tournament to lose, like that's way too much. And that's way too much even at this stage if we're talking about Rybakina. In terms of Carlos Alcaraz, I think we can clearly say that, yeah, I mean, pressure is on him. Like, it's a tournament that right now he expects to win. Will he do it? Who knows? Medvedev is a rematch of last year's semifinal, which was, of course, very, very quick for him. But then again, he lost to him at the US Open just a couple of months later. Final, of course, there's still Novak. And last year they played 5 sets in the final. But yeah, I mean, I think in the men's, because of the combo of results that we got today, the situation has now become very, very clear.
Yeah, I would agree with you. For me, currently, Carlos Alcaraz is the favourite for the Wimbledon title. I don't know whether Medvedev will bounce back from that Sinner win well. He might, but Carlos might be too intense for him, like to do back-to-back. And then, the final, which is highly likely to be Novak. It'll be shocked if it isn't. That's going to be close, but Carlos should... I reckon Carlos should be able to exploit any potential niggles there may well still be with that knee.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see about Novak getting there. I honestly don't think it's a must. I think that as soon as we still haven't had that knee tested and just kind of haven't seen what happens when the serve isn't carrying him through, like against Rune, I have my doubts. For example, if he played Fritz, even though I know Taylor did horribly in this matchup in the past. But it's not going to be indoors as well in the next few days, which might be important. But yeah, for now, he's the favorite. Medvedev, if he plays like he did today, sure. I've seen some comments already on Twitter saying that, like, I would be very surprised if this time it's as easy as in 2023. And I'm not disagreeing with that, really. I just have to say that in 2023, we are saying like almost the same, right? Medvedev and Alcaraz were supposed to play in the semis at Wimbledon, and we were saying, okay, this is not going to be Indian Wells. This is going to be much closer, and it wasn't. So I don't have any certainties. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't feel like if it is very simple for him, I'm not going to be surprised. If it is more of a battle, I'm not going to be surprised either. But clearly, the pressure is on the guy who's trying to defend the title.
Yeah, and I would say I would say at this point with this Wimbledon, are we going to be surprised by anything anymore?
Yeah. And that's the best thing, We're not gonna be surprised by anything because there's not much to be surprised about in the bottom half, especially on the women's side. I mean, that's been the case for 2 rounds. On the women's, on the top half, there's enough also in terms of potential contenders for Rybakina that there's not much to be surprised about either. I mean, if Ostapenko or Svitolina beat her, maybe if Krejcikova does it, I'd be surprised, but sure. And yeah, I mean, on the men's, especially the bottom half is so weird now. It's kind of like, last year we would be saying so easy for Djokovic. Right now we have some potential concerns, and that also opens things up. But yeah, that's what it should be at the end of the event. That's what it should be in the last few rounds. You don't know what's going to happen, and you're just watching, that there's enormous pressure on the players, and we will see how they handle that.
And it will be heightened by hopefully being interesting matches as well. I think that we're in for a good chance of that. I will answer Schwarner's question. Ostapenko, Krejcikova can win Wimbledon. Iga, how do you feel about that? Fine. They always had the opportunity before that. Like they deserve it if they win it. Ostapenko is someone I've been talking about as a potential Wimbledon champion for years. It would just be ironic if she won it. It'd be ironic.
Do you feel like she's been talked about as a potential Wimbledon champion for years? I think it was maybe only 2022 when like that sort of talk was starting to gather up. And that was before the fourth round when I think she and Rybakina were looking especially good. And then she lost to Tatiana Maria in this crazy match where she probably could have won. Of course, Rybakina ended up taking the title. But otherwise, I don't even really remember any year when we would be like, yeah.
I was backing this too well last year as well. I put her as a outside title contender last year.
Yeah, but I mean, she lost to Kirstea in the second round, right? I mean,
Yeah, but I did that pre-tournament.
I understand, but like we could be saying that, like, I don't know, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova is a threat to win Wimbledon as well. I don't know. Like, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say.
Ostapenko was always ranked fairly high in my Wimbledon kind of title contenders before seeing the draw type.
Yeah, but that's not because she's like very close to the top though, right? Like she's just kind of the best of the rest, if you may. And I think 2022 was the only like real moment when she was actually close to a title contender at some point of the event. I think that was maybe the only time at Wimbledon that happened to her. And this year, of course, is the probably the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. My point is, this is the 1 year the first year I went, yeah, Ostapenko's we're not winning this. And then she turns on this crazy run. So never underestimate.
Before the event, I wouldn't have trusted her either. I mean, her form seemed to be going downwards. Of course, that's not really like something unusual for her that she's like up and down. But yeah, even the fact that she had to play Tomljanovic, the recent runner-up from Birmingham or wherever it was, right? And yeah, just in general, the fact that she's played 4 very consistent matches so far is definitely something new.
Yeah, I mean, she can turn it on whenever. That's the thing with Ostapenko. So it's just you never know when. Fortunately, you probably do have an idea of when we'll be on Talking Tennis, because we'll be covering still more of Wimbledon. I think we've got more. We've definitely got Rybakina versus Svitolina for a stream tomorrow, and that's going to be brought to you by Matt and Isabel. Stay tuned for other live streams that will probably happen. I think when the men's quarterfinal after that. So yeah, hopefully we enjoy that. What do you think about Sean's idea of a Medvedev versus Djokovic final at Wimbledon?
I don't think it will happen, but if it did, sure. I mean, I would maybe be as excited about it as I was when they played at the US Open, and then it was a total disappointment. But I have to say, Medvedev winning this over Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic, I'd fancy that. I mean, I remember saying after the Australian Open that if Daniil Medvedev retires with 1 Grand Slam title, that would be a joke. That joke is very real, I think. Like, that joke can literally happen. I probably can actually think that this joke is more likely to happen than not. But if he did it, winning against Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic, that would be the perfect way to sort of make up for these 2 sets to love up losses at the Australian Open.
I'd be here for it. I would love Daniil Medvedev to win Wimbledon. I think it'd be great. I think he'd be hilarious and deserved as well. I don't think he's that bad on grass. So
I've always said that he's gonna win Wimbledon, like not even once, probably multiple. But yeah, at this stage,
we're on the same
probably
page
not.
with this one.
But yeah, I mean that happened, of course, kind of differently to how I was planning it. Like Djokovic was not supposed to keep winning until 2022, and Alcaraz was not supposed to be that good early. I was kind of thinking of Medvedev as a bit of a placeholder, you know, in terms of grass.
Yeah.
I mean, Alcaraz in terms of grass was not supposed to be that good early. So I was thinking of Medvedev as a placeholder between Djokovic and Alcaraz, who wins like 2 Wimbledons in that time frame. But yeah, of course, he's never played a final before. But yeah, I do think he's extremely good on grass. Definitely adds to his aggression, the flat ground strokes. The serve is really nice. If he's, you know, got that shoulder issue covered, and it seems like he's got it now. So yeah, I've always believed in him on grass as well. Just think that maybe beating Sinner, Alcaraz, and Djokovic back to back is going to be pretty tough.
Well, let's find out how it plays out, because we've got another load of quarterfinals tomorrow before we can get ahead of ourselves. We'll join us hopefully for the quarterfinals tomorrow. I'm excited. I hope you are too. Thanks, Dane, for coming and joining me and talking about sort of today's results. And yeah, we'll catch up with you all very soon. But in the meantime, take care and keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.